Morning everyone, just a little bonus video today, just to show you what I'm getting up to this sunny Sunday. As lockdown's easing, I was out and about visiting my eldest son yesterday, so we haven't recorded a big game this weekend, but we've got a few of those in the backlog anyway. So it's Sunday morning, it's a nice day, so I'm going to be spending some time, I'm sure, with the family out and about. But at the moment I'm just also setting up a game of Austerlitz. This is the Hexasim board game. You might have seen me play another one of their games, the Lingmi and the Quatre Bras games, which I've used to play scenarios before. So this is their version of Austerlitz. It's actually the first one in the series, and to show you some of the units we've got here. So this is the French army that we've yet to deploy. Lovely punched out counters, really nice graphics in this game. And here is a map of Austerlitz itself. And this is right at the start of the game, so we've played a couple of turns, which are almost pre-programmed in the game. You're not allowed to change orders in the first couple of turns of the game. And the Austrian-Russian forces are playing, I guess, the traditional version of the scenario, so they're assaulting the right flank here. And the mist is slightly lifting, and you can see the Austrian units in the light blue, and the French, or light blue and yellow, and the Russians with the dark green stripe in the middle, approaching the Golbach stream and the villages of Sokolonitz and Telnitz, I think they are. The focuses of their assaults on the French right, and that's part of the 4th Corps, the part commanded by Davout, and his 3rd Corps reinforcements are just starting to enter the board from this sort of left-hand corner. So that's where the first part of the Allied assault is going in. There is a bit of fog of war, so you can see some counters up here. Some of these are dummy counters. Only 1 in 3 are the commanders or the commanders' locations of other Russian formations. And what you do is, as in when you move forward and get within range and visibility, which is only 2 hexes for the early morning, you have to reveal those commanders, remove the dummy counters, and then deploy the forces that are with them. So here you can see the French have moved their 2nd chasseurs forward across the stream and use those to scout the Russian forces and force them to reveal which was a real counter and which was a dummy counter, and then deploy their forces. So the French have got a better idea of what's attacking them here, as they did that with a bunch of their light cavalry. On this side of the board, you've got the bulk of the French forces also deployed with hidden movement, and some of, I think that's, I'm trying to remember who commands the northern flank for the French. Let me have a look. It's not Soult, it's Lannes. There's some of Lannes' troops on the French left flank being provoked by being approached by the Russian right wing. So I might just give you another couple of shots as the game progresses, and as more units are revealed, and as the French may choose to do their assault through the centre of the Pratzenberg Heights. We'll see how the game plays, whether the French give the Allied forces a trouncing as they did them in the real battle. And one final aspect I'll show down here. Here's the orders sheet, so it's a replica of the main battle, and these are the orders that your corps have to follow. The French have more flexibility, they're able to issue more orders, and depending on their locations of the commanders, they can set new objectives within sort of command range. And as you can see down here, you've got a majority of the Allied commands for the 3rd, 1st, 2nd and advance guard around the French right flank, and otherwise just some pressure and holding positions for them in the centre. I'll just give you a quick glance. We've got the Austrian and Russia forces that have yet to be deployed, also all the counters out on the table, and then the various different charts. It's quite a straightforward, simple game to play, and in a way, one of the reasons I like it, a bit like General d'Armée, is you've got restricted command ability. So we've got all these order counters that direct actually the locations your infantry units and cavalry units have to progress towards, and you also get not random activation, but you have to roll under leaders' command scores to activate their formations, and you're not guaranteed to be able to activate all your formations every turn. You do get double turns, so everyone has 2 shots at being activated, but you have to make a roll, and there is random turn length. So you have to prioritise where your assaults are going in, and some corps will just remain inactive. So that, combined with the hidden deployment, puts a degree of uncertainty into it. And when I'm playing solo, I don't actually myself know which one of the counters are the real leader and which ones are the dummy counters. So there's some uncertainty for Kutuzov and for Napoleon and for Alexander as to actually where his corps are at any particular point in time. Alright, I'll come back later on and give you a bit more of a view of how this game progresses. Cheers! Okay, so we're at about the 12 a.m. game turn, so about halfway through the game. The first couple of moves are sort of hidden movement, not much happens. So what's going on so far? On the right flank, Bagraton is facing off against Lan. Both forces are moving up into confrontation around the village of Bosnitz, but haven't really got stuck in yet. They've been suffering from a lack of activations. The French Imperial Guard and Reserve Cavalry is still being held as strategic reserve for the French, but things are hotting up in the centre. Soult has captured the village of Pratzen itself, but not yet the Pratzen Heights. The French have forced the Russians and their attack that was going on the left wing here to divert one of their columns to hold its position on the Pratzen Heights, and other Austrian and French, get it right in a second, Austrian and Russian brigades, including the cavalry reserve, have been committed against Soult's attack in the centre. The Russian Guard still is itself not yet committed to battle, so there is going to be quite a conflict when Bernadotte, Soult and the Grenadier Reserve that Napoleon has already called up, as opposed to the Imperial Guard, goes into conflict in the centre here. Davout is still doing well and definitely holding off the Russian attacks on the French right flank. It's still got more reserves for him to come in, and looks increasingly like the Russians aren't going to be able to capture many of their objectives here with their reserves and their second wave having been pulled off to fight in the centre. So slightly different to the historical outcome, slightly less pressure on the French right wing, more resistance in the centre. We'll see how this plays through. Alright, catch you in a bit and we'll see how the game turns out. Here we are at the end of the game. Let's have a look at how we've done. Well, not too bad for the Austrians and Russians. They made some progress finally against the French right wing, but hardly crushed it. They did capture Austerlitz castle on the last turn of the game, and indeed this village down here, Telenitz, again in the last turn of the game. And the timing of those attacks have prevented Davout, because the random turn length kicked in, from recapturing or having a go at recapturing those. So what looks like a very secure French position has swung in favour of the Austrian Russians there. In the centre, Soult's corps has done well and captured not only Pratzen but all of the Pratzen Heights. In the centre, the Russian Imperial Guard proved a tough nut to crack, and they've caused a lot of damage there to Murat's heavy cavalry reserve, and indeed to Duroc's grenadier, combined grenadier corps, and the Imperial Guard has taken a hammering as well. So this position in the centre with the Russian Imperial Guard and Koloreth's corps proved a very difficult position, and really the French made no progress in capturing the two objectives, one there on Stary Binswaradi and Blasowitz, unable to crack either of those. In the north, Lan has done well and pushed the Russians back, but no decisive breakthrough on that flank. The third corps for the Austrians is either routing off the table or has completely disappeared. So, unlike the historic Austerlitz, the French did not make the breakthrough in quite the same place, but they have broken through, and looks like they've isolated the attacking wing of the Austrian army. I'll just have a look at the victory points and give you what the actual readout of the game is. So I've just finished clearing the table, but if I've got my calculations right, that was actually an Allied victory, as the French failed to take enough objectives and failed to destroy enough of the Allied army. It's the first time I've played the full scenario, so now I've got a better idea of the flow of the game and what it takes to get a victory. Might find a way to push harder with the French. Anyway, that was good fun and a nice way to spend an afternoon. Cheers everyone.